You've been using Flagyl wrong your whole life. Yes, the almighty Flagyl, the famous and ever useful Flagyl. Almost everybody watching this video has used Flagyl for one thing or the other. But here's what nobody tells you. Most of the time when you take Flagyl for purging, it is doing absolutely nothing. I'm Pharmacist Faith, and in this video I'm going to reveal the truth about when Flagyl actually works, when you are just wasting your money, and something that will shock you. Because if you are a lady, you've probably inserted Flagyl into your vagina without even knowing it. Let's get into it. First, let's start with what Flagyl actually is. The brand name Flagyl is just a brand name because the actual drug itself is called Metronidazole, and it is an antibiotic that kills certain parasites and certain bacteria. Not all parasites and certainly not all bacteria. Now, the most popular use of Flagyl is diarrhea, but this is where the problem starts. You see, diarrhea, or what we call purging, has many causes, and you probably didn't know this. Because diarrhea could be caused by viruses, it could be caused by bad food, or it could just be some mild irritation of your bowels. Let me explain what I mean. You know that watery stool you sometimes experience, the one that doesn't come with blood or mucus in it. Most times that comes from eating foods your stomach doesn't agree with. Like when you eat hyper spicy food or food that has too much pepper, for example. Or when you try some weird food that you haven't eaten before because your friend cajoled you to eat it. I'm talking about that kind of diarrhea that doesn't come with vomiting, just runny stomach. Here is the truth. That type is actually not caused by a bacteria. And if it's not caused by a bacteria, you actually don't need Flagyl for it. In fact, you actually just need ORS, or oral rehydration solution, because it replaces the fluid and the electrolyte that you are losing and helps replace the strength that you've lost. And then you just have to wait for it because it often stops within hours or even by the next day by itself because your body handles it naturally. But if you notice that the diarrhea is too frequent, maybe you go more than 5 times a day and you need quick relief because you need to go to school or you need to go to work, then that's where loperamide comes in. Loperamide is Imodium, or the popular Motil, that will help to slow down your bowel movement, and it helps to stop the stooling instantly. And in that case, you don't need Flagyl. But I know what you are thinking. You say, but pharmacist, I took Flagyl and it stopped though. Okay, let me ask you this. How many days did you take the Flagyl before it stopped? Was it not just 1 day or 2? That's because that is exactly the length of time your body took to regulate itself back to normal. It wasn't the Flagyl that worked. It was just a coincidence. The Flagyl happened to be there when your body naturally healed itself. Or yeah, check it out now. If your body was going to heal itself in 2 days anyways, and then you took Flagyl during those 2 days, it will definitely look like the Flagyl worked, abi? But no be the Flagyl do anything. Your body just did what it was supposed to do. Tell me the truth in the comments. What is the longest number of days you've ever taken Flagyl for a regular purging? Have you even taken it up to 5 days before? Now you are probably thinking, okay, so when do I actually need Flagyl for purging? Great question. Let me show you the exact signs you have to look out for you to know when Flagyl is necessary. You use Flagyl when you notice blood or mucus in your stool. Let me repeat that because it's important. Blood or mucus in your stool. When you see that thick, catarrh-like substance in your stool, that mucus or blood, even if it's just a little bit of blood, usually indicates that bacteria is involved. This is where Flagyl comes in and actually does its job. The blood and mucus are signs that the lining of your intestine is being damaged by bacteria. That is when you need an antibiotic like Flagyl. Also, if you are purging and vomiting at the same time, that is likely food poisoning, and in severe cases it could even be cholera. For food poisoning, that's when Flagyl will actually shine and help you. So here is your money saving secret. If you don't see blood or mucus in your stool, save your money on Flagyl and save your taste buds, because after all, Flagyl doesn't even taste that good. The same applies for kids. Just use ORS, wait it out, take Motil or Imodium if you need faster relief. Flagyl won't do anything extra for you in those situations. And if this video is making sense so far, please give this video a like, because it helps more people discover this information and stop wasting money on medication they don't need. We've covered the purging myth and when you actually need Flagyl for diarrhea. But purging is not the only thing people misuse Flagyl for. Let's talk about those toilet infections. Now, I know what you mean by toilet infections. All those infections that affect the private parts of both men and women, right? It's technically the wrong term, but I understand what you mean. Here's what you need to know. You can't just take Flagyl for any and every infection that you have down there. It's not a magic solution for everything. Flagyl is only right for certain bacterial infections. For example, bacterial vaginosis, or BV for short. It's when you have a discharge that smells really bad, like fishy smell or rotten egg. That's when Flagyl works in addition to other appropriate antibiotics. It also works for trichomoniasis. That's another infection that Flagyl can treat. But this is what it does not work for alone: yeast infections. If you have yeast infection, you know that thick white discharge that comes with itching often. Flagyl by itself won't solve your problem, and you need an antifungal medication for yeast, not Flagyl. So don't just take Flagyl because you have discharge or itching. You need to know what type of infection you have first. And now, here is where it gets really interesting. Remember I said at the beginning that you've probably inserted Flagyl into your vagina as a lady without even knowing it? Let me explain what I mean. Your popular Klovinal, yes, that one, and even Miconazole Plus, all these vaginal suppositories you've used has Flagyl in them. You don't believe me? Oh yeah, check it out. Check your Klovinal pack and look at it carefully. You will see the word Metronidazole written right there on the pack. That is your Flagyl. So here is why it is there. It is there because many vaginal infections aren't just one infection. It's not caused by just one organism. Sometimes it's a mixed infection. You have yeast and then bacteria also are present, causing problems together. The Klovinal has antifungal medicine to kill the yeast, and it also has metronidazole to kill bacteria at the same time. Specifically, it kills what we call anaerobic bacteria, and these are bacteria that like places without much oxygen. And deep inside those infection sites where there is not much oxygen also, that is where these bacteria love to grow. So all this time you've been using Klovinal, you've been using Flagyl. You just didn't know it was there. Mind blowing, right? We've now covered purging, vaginal infections, and revealed the hidden Flagyl in your medications. But here are two more surprising uses of Flagyl I want you to know about. First, wounds. Yes, Flagyl infusions have been used to irrigate and treat certain types of wounds. Health practitioners use it to kill off and prevent the growth of certain bacteria in wounds, especially those anaerobic bacteria I mentioned earlier, the ones that grow in places without oxygen. Deep wounds sometimes don't have good oxygen flow, so these bacteria can grow there. Flagyl kills them. Second, have you heard of metronidazole creams before? Tell me in the comments. That is Flagyl in cream form. It is used for certain types of infections, but only when the doctor has identified that the organism causing the problem can be killed by Flagyl. So the same medicine that you take as tablets for diarrhea is being used to treat wounds and skin infections in different forms. That is quite a versatile medicine when you use it correctly, almost like Gbogbo Nishiabi. Now, before we wrap it up, here's one very important thing you need to know about Flagyl. Never, and I mean never, mix Flagyl with alcohol, not beer, not wine, not even a small amount of alcohol, because that combination can cause serious reaction. We are talking about severe nausea and vomiting, terrible headaches, and even rapid heart rates. It can actually be dangerous. So if you are taking Flagyl, stay away from alcohol completely until you finish the medication and wait at least 24 hours after your last dose. Also, if you are taking Flagyl and your symptoms are not getting any better, after 2 or 3 days, stop and see a doctor. I mean, like we popularly say, if symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Don't just keep taking it hoping it will work eventually. And finally, this is why it's important to use antibiotics correctly. When we misuse them, we help bacteria become stronger and develop resistance. And then when we really need the antibiotics to work, they don't work anymore. And this affects all of us, and it's more serious than you can actually imagine. So there you have it, the truth about Flagyl, the wrong uses, taking it for regular purging when your body will heal itself on its own. The right uses when you see blood or mucus in your stool, or for specific bacterial infections like bacterial vaginosis and trichomoniasis. And then the hidden truth that Flagyl has been in your Klovinal all along. And then, of course, the bonus uses wounds and skin infections. But here's one more critical topic I need to address: Flagyl use in children. Many parents give Flagyl to their children for every small purging or diarrhea, and some of these practices can actually be dangerous for your child. If you want me to reveal the truth about Flagyl in children, the correct doses by age, when it's actually needed versus when you are putting your child at risk, let me know in the comment section. And if you have children or you plan to have them, subscribe to my channel so you can watch more videos on children health and safe use of everyday medications like Flagyl. Before you go, let me ask you this: did you know all of these things about Flagyl before watching these videos? Let me know in the comments. I want to know which part surprised you the most. Flagyl is actually not the only medication with interesting facts like this. Millions of people have damaged their kidneys unknowingly through the wrong usage of vitamin C. Yes, you heard me. Click on this video to learn those vitamin C dangers and how to avoid them before it's too late. See you in that video. Bye.